Now, talking a little bit about that diabolical nature of things, and you brought up, RFK, of course, the idea of vaccines, and I've heard this and had questions, but I want to hear your insight. The vaccination of now livestock. Is that something you're seeing a big push for? Is this, seriously something, or is it conspiracy theory? Where are we with that?
Oh, well, I mean, livestock has been vaccinated for 100 years.
Right. But now it just seems
But
like more and more.
now it's on exactly. It is following that same human trajectory uh, where there's a push, and of course this bird flu now.
Yep.
Here's the thing on bird flu. If you want my quick on bird flu,
Please.
um, the thing that's so crazy about bird flu, anyone who selects plants or animals for better stock. I don't care whether it's dogs, cats, or rose bushes. What do? You go out and you try to find the most robust, vibrant, resilient ones, and you select those and you breed them. You don't go out and find the cripple and the pale and the poor. You do the most vibrant. And so the policy that we have right now in our culture is that if I have a I'll just if I have a Tyson chicken house with 20,000 chickens in it, and one chicken using the PCR test, which is questionable anyway, but one chicken tests positive for bird flu, the immediate and let me just say unappealable. The farmer can't appeal this. In other words, as soon as that happens, there is no appeal. There is no system. There's no protocol for anything except what the government says needs to be done.
Mm.
And the protocol is we go in immediately and annihilate every chicken there. Now, I have friends. I keep up with this. I know. I don't know of a single, and I'm talking about factory farms. I'm not talking about backyard chickens or our pastured poultry. I'm talking about the worst of the worst. All right. I have not heard of a single factory house operation, even in the most supposedly virulent outbreak of bird flu, in which every bird got sick. Not a one. Even in a bird of 20,000 birds, there are still 100 that never get it. They just don't. But those are killed. The survivors are killed along
Mm.
with the sick ones. You would think that if they really wanted to get ahead of this thing, if it happened in a house, those survivors, they would they would breed those.
Yes.
I mean, that's the most elemental elemental foundation of genetic of husbandry.
Natural selection.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let's hold those, let's breed those, and in a few generations, we'll build in resilience and we'll be up and running. I mean, this is the whole guns, germs, and steel thing, right?
Yeah.
Was that the cultures that dominated were the ones that that did go through mumps and measles and all that stuff, and that's why it decimated the Native Americans, was
Hmm.
because they didn't have a proximity to livestock like the Europeans did, who had built up immunity to smallpox and measles and mumps and these kind of things. And and so if we and I so appreciate you mentioned the hygiene hypothesis. That is that we never hear that in
Right.
mainstream discussion at all, but that your immune system is actually a great big muscle, uh,
Hmm.
and it needs little assaults, if you will, little pushes to keep it energized, to keep it exercise your immune system muscle. Which is why in Finland, they've documented over and over that these farm kids that get um, a few fingers of cow poop in their mouth as toddlers, they're so much more, their immune system functions so much better than their city cousins, who are kept, microbial,
Right.
sterile, and clean all the time. So Casper, my one of my biggest frustrations with the entire bird flu narrative and protocol is that there are survivors in every one of these places. There are survivors, but they're not being cultivated. They're not being propagated. They're being killed along with everything else because it's a burnt earth. It's a
Yep.
scorched earth policy, and it makes I can't figure that just blows my mind. I can't figure out why people, supposedly smart people, think that we can get ahead of this by killing the ones that are immune to it.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so many of the policies you see these days don't make a lot of sense, and I hope there is some common sense that comes in there.